Greetings, fam. I'm a little late. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Back at y'all ass on this here June 2nd. You feel me? I got a lot for you, and so it's gonna be kind of one of them barrel through events. I've been in some wormholes this weekend, and so I'm gonna try to be as concise as I can be. But there's a lot going on. So, just a little housekeeping. I am not. Ow! Stop! It! Stop! Am I gonna do that? Greetings, Brahmana Bava. Stop biting my foot. Greetings, Carla Summers. Let's see. I am going to do this freaking IG shit. Let me just log on to my IG real quick. So anyway, I got a lot going on. You feel me? And greetings, Eve loves love. Y'all just jolly on the spot. I like that. Y'all act like y'all missed me. I had a lot going on last week. Y'all know I had my first little live performance last week, and so that took up a lot of my headspace trying to prepare for that. You know what? Let me do this too. Let me plug up my phone so it doesn't die on me while I'm broadcasting. Let's do that a little different here. So anyway, so that was exciting and stressful, and hurdle surmounted. Is that what they say? Yeah, that was one of my objectives for the year, was to have my first live sitar performance. So that happened. Hurdle surmounted. Goal accomplished. Okay. So let's see here. Shauna Michelle, hello. I've been checking in on the cicada song, but they are not here or not loud enough. So I just watched a thing today that was saying that the cicada songs are actually louder during the day. They're actually louder the hotter times of the day. Interesting. So anyway, I'm just putting it out big, putting it out far and wide. I need cicada songs. It's part of the topic today, actually, because I need cicada songs. Okay. And y'all don't seem to internalize the urgency of the request. I need cicada songs. Okay. I do not care from where. I do not care if they are many. I need cicada songs. Okay. And so part of what I'm going to do today, let me just show y'all how many notes I took for today's correspondence, if you will. Ew, God. I took a gang of notes. Look at all these notes. Notes. Back and front. Notes. Back and front. Notes. Back. This is all for today. This is in the last 24 hours. Notes. 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 Some more coming. Notes. Yup. Some more. Notes. Yup. Notes. Yup. Notes. Notes. And notes. These are all the notes that I took for today. You got me? Just for today. So y'all, thank you, Brahmana Baba. That's lovely. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna show that comment. I appreciate that. Yes. Oh, she caught. Where are you at, Brahmana Baba? She says she heard the cicadas today. Greetings, Chloe Dior. Yeah, greetings those of you tuning in on IG. Yes, so we're going to get right to it. I'm going to try to be concise. I took a gang of notes, okay? Because there's a lot happening. So first things first, I was paying attention, researching the astrology for the coming month. Vincent Sims, oh my goodness. Hey, yo, it's so good to see you here. Dang, y'all. Greetings, Nura Allah. Okay. So anyway, I started, what's today? Sunday. So I started Friday researching for, the astrology for the week, for the coming month, right? And yeah, it's big apparently this month. And so I took some notes for that, but in the taking of notes for that, I was reminded about my plea for the cicadas. And so I detoured for a little bit because I need to really remind y'all of like the gravity of the cicada thing, right? Because the cicadas will actually their whole breeding process lasts anywhere from the end of June to around late July, because it's two different broods. They're saying the end could range from late June to late July. Okay. So yes, I could easily go and Google cicada songs. That's fine, but they're not these cicada songs. In this cicada brood that only happens once every 221 years. Child, when I tell you, I've been in a crazy kind of wormhole today, but to give myself grace, it is Gemini season. I am a Gemini rising. Wormhole shit is the type of shit we do. You feel me? So anyway, so I'm going to talk to you about several things. I'm going to talk to you about the astrology of this month, why it's important, why we should be paying attention. The doors kicked right on in. Yesterday was the first. Tonight, the first thing tonight is we won't be able to see it out here. Those of you on the East Coast, especially kind of like the more northeastern coast, like New York and them areas, y'all will be able to see it. But tonight there is the event called the Parade of the Planets, right? It is a planetary alignment of 6 planets. Let's talk about it. So the planets that will be, and if you are on the Eastern Seaboard, you will be able to see it between 3:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. Okay. So you'll only be able to see 4 of the 6 planets with the naked eye. You will need a telescope in order to see the other 2. But the planets at play up in this 6 planet lineup on June 3rd of 2024 is Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Mars, Neptune, and Saturn. The last time this particular planetary parade, if you will, occurred was in the year 949 AD. The next time this particular planetary alignment will occur will be May 6th of 2492. 2492 is the next time it will happen. Greetings, Carlotta. So tonight is a big night. And apparently everybody on the planet that can see it is got their telescopes out, got their locations on deck so that they can see this planetary alignment called the Parade of Planets. So apparently there are different types of planetary alignments, and they range from small, medium to large. This is considered a large because it has 4 or more planets in the alignment. It becomes a parade when it's 5 or more planets. So that is happening tonight. Talk about a wild way to kick the doors in on June, right? Now let me just tell you. Okay, so So I'm gonna talk about these cicadas first, because I am going to be stressing regularly about one. More important than anything is me getting these cicada songs. That is a really effortless homework assignment. I need them. I can't get them here. You feel me? I have a friend trying to get somebody to collect some songs on Reddit. It's important. If you need to understand the importance, email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com and I will tell you. I am not putting it out here because there's so many fucking biters on the internet that be jacking my shit all the time. I can hear motherfuckers say shit I didn't say it, and I know ain't nobody else see it word for word, verbatim out my mouth. It's happening a lot these days. So I'm not telling you the urgency of the cicada songs, but I need them. It's a very small, anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour. 5 minutes will do. It's not ideal. Ideal is 30 minutes to an hour is the length of the recording that I need. Okay. And like I said many times before, I will pay you for your time. I will pay you for your time. The other thing that I will pay for, this is a little bit, grittier homework assignment. If you live in any of these areas, what are the states? Alabama, Mississippi, Maryland, Missouri, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana, Chicago, Illinois, and upper portions of Georgia. Okay, northern portions of Georgia. If you live in any of these areas and you feel so froggy, cicada moltings. So cicada moltings, I've told you before, I'll reiterate briefly again. Chinese medicine, cicada bugs. What's the Chinese name for the cicada? I forget. It's let me just look real quick. What is the name? One of my professors gonna look at me like I'm crazy. What is the damn? Let me just look real quick in my freaking materia medica. What it is? Ooh, I'm so wrong for not remembering this. It is one of the top 10 medicines in the materia medica. Okay, let's see. Clear heat and remove toxicity. No, this extinguishes wind. Let's see. I'm going to look this herb up before I go any further. I want y'all to understand why these bugs is so important to me. So in the meantime, while I'm looking up this herb, I need y'all to get some cicada casings. So they should be everywhere right now. I done watched videos of people talking about how they're crunching all over the place because the cicada bugs because they come out of the ground. And as soon as they come out of the ground, they shed their exoskeleton. So now they can get their little singing voice together. Their little singing voice is like a little drum. And so as soon as they shed that exoskeleton that's been protecting them in the ground for 13 to 17 years, they have to get their little wings together and everything. That exoskeleton is actually considered a Chinese herb. And so I'm going to tell you about this herb because the reason it is such an important herb, one, it's obviously very rare. Cicadas only come to the surface once every 13 to 17 years, depending upon the brood. So one, they're rare. Two, they tend to be expensive because of their rarity. Three, they are an extremely powerful medicine. Cicadas. Where y'all at? Here it is, page 52. So I need these. So if you collect them in mason jars or Ziploc bags or boxes, I don't care. Sean Tweed. That is the pinyin name for the herb, Sean Tweed. Okay, the cicada bug, the cicada molting. Okay, the primary channels that it enters are the lung and the liver channel. Its key characteristics is that it is cold, light, ascending, dispersing exterior wind heat, extinguishes internal wind, cools the lungs and liver, vents rashes, stops itching, and soothes the throat. Let's see. Interesting. Cautions and contraindications. Many pre-modern materia medica texts record the use of this substance for delayed labor. Listen, for delayed labor and to promote the expulsion of the residue of the birth process. It should therefore be used with caution in patients who might be pregnant, especially if they have a history of miscarriage. That's one use historically to help, you know, how sometimes women have delayed expulsion of their placenta. Cicada bugs can help expedite the process of expelling the birth byproduct, especially the placenta. Okay. Actions and indications: disperses wind and clears heat for patterns of externally contracted wind heat, especially with loss of voice, swollen, sore throat, as in mulberry leaf and chrysanthemum, right? Vents rashes, especially for early stages of measles with an incomplete expression of the rash. Clears the eyes and removes superficial visual obstruction for wind heat eye problems such as red, painful, or swollen eyes or blurred vision. Stops spasms and extinguishes wind for childhood febrile diseases in which wind causes convulsions, spasms, delirium, or night terrors. Also used as an auxiliary substance in treating tinnitus. It can also be used with Schwanxia to for night terrors and convulsions due to liver wind. Okay, let's see what else is saying here. It's great for vertigo, superficial visual obstruction, pathogenic heat, especially. Let's see. It says it is used for pathogenic heat. Let's see. But if the pathogenic heat has already penetrated deep to the nutritive and blood levels, it must be combined with strong blood cooling and toxin relieving herbs. Otherwise, the heat will be pushed out improperly, making the rash worse and injuring the chi and blood. Fascinating. Okay. It goes on and on and on. Super, super powerful herb. So again, I will reiterate, there will not be another time anytime soon for you to collect cicada casings. So collect the bugs and ship them to me and I will pay you. Okay? Now, while I'm on that diatribe about the cicada bugs, let me tell you about a wormhole I went into. I'm going to talk to you about the astrology in a little bit. Greetings, Samara, everybody else, Shauna Michelle, Solis Love. Look, so let me tell you, I got on this thing about cicada bugs today because I was like, ain't nobody sending me no cicada bug. I know the cicada bugs have been out for a month now. I ain't got no recordings yet. And all these people commit to sending me recordings. I ain't got them. So I'm going to have to go ham today on cicada bugs. So the last time I talked to y'all about cicada bugs was a little bit ago. I think it was around the eclipse, but I'm not going to give you all the spiritual shit because I gave y'all that. Y'all can go back to around the eclipse and rewatch it. Okay. I wanted to tell you about the other shit. Like, okay. So the cicada bugs, this type of brood, what they call a super brood, only happens once every 221 years. The last time that it happened was in the year 1803. Put a bookmark in that. The next time it'll happen is the year 2245, right? So I was like, and everybody kept saying, the last time the cicada bugs came out in a super brood, Thomas Jefferson was the president. That's all everybody kept saying. Y'all remember when I did the Pluto Returns, America's First Pluto Returns workshops, and I kept saying the only reason I got interested in astrology in the first place was because everybody was talking about the stellium that happened on January 12th of 2020, right? And everybody kept saying the same thing verbatim. The energy is so big. And to understand how permanently transformative the energy is, this most monumental event happened the last time, which was Martin Luther, right? Martin Luther nailed the 95 Thesis to the door of the German Catholic Church, kicked off the Protestant Reformation of the church, permanently changed the religion from that day to this, right? And that's all everybody kept talking about. I was like, well, damn, what else was happening in the world? If this energy is so big, if this thing that happened was so big, what else was happening everywhere the hell else at this time that this stellium was happening? And that's what got me interested, is the history, especially when there are very few astrologers that do this, but especially when astrologers use historical incidences, events to create for you a visual of the potential echoes that can occur around these types of events. Love and peace. This is Cassandra. I have some city short recordings of cicadas for you. Hey, Janet Kennedy, come on in the room. You can email me those. Email me, and you can try to email me them. If that doesn't work, I will respond to the email, and I'll give you my Dropbox information. And you can just dump it in my Dropbox. That is what I'm talking about right there. Come on in the room, Janet. All right. So anyway, so I don't lose my train of thought. Okay. So that's what I've always been interested in. I am a historian. So when people start talking about, okay, why is this event significant? Why should you be paying attention to it? Historically, this is what this has looked like. This is what history has looked like every time this type of event comes into play, right? So here we are again. Same thing today. Everybody's talking about cicada bug, the cicada brood, the cicada brood. And every single person I saw talking about the brood today said the same thing. It's like they had a script. Like nobody took it upon themselves to see what the hell else was happening the last time the brood came out. Everybody said the same thing for me. The last time the cicada brood came out, this big, trillions of cicadas and more than one brood coming out at the same time, it's 221 years ago. And that was when Thomas Jefferson was president. And that's it. That's all they had to say. So I went in a wormhole today. I was like, well, damn, what the fuck else was happening in 1803? The last time these cicadas had a mega brood. You feel me? Like a super brood. Baby, let me tell you about 1803. I said, what the fuck? Listen, when I keep telling y'all, who was it? Was it Mary Daly in Pure Lust? Yes, it was. Well, was it Mary Daly in Pure Lust that said that that we are the fates, the mythical fates of Greek mythology? We are the fates. Who did she say was the fates? Who did she say was the fates? She really said womb holders were the fates, that every single person around us is permanently impacted and transformed by our presence. That's what she said. She said women are the fates in real life, in real time. And so what happens is we're either weaving despair, it's the same thing that I'm saying all the time. Like, how are we using our voice? Are we using it to speak repetitious bullshit of the past, our lament, our woe, our sadness, or whatever? Or are we using the power of our voice to generate and speak a conspiracy of the new, right? She's saying the same thing, just in a different way. She said we the fates. We weave time. We manipulate all things just by our existence. Just by our existing in space, baby, we change the game for the better or for the worse, depending upon how present we are. So let me tell you about this shit right here. I go to look about the cicadas, read up on some shit on the cicadas so I can put y'all on game to get me my cicada recordings, because I am plotting and scheming. Y'all don't understand until you see what it is I'm plotting and scheming on, okay? And so 1803. I don't know what, thank you, the Napoleonic Wars began, yes. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, let's see. Let's run down the list. So the first thing I do is Google, like, okay, what happened in the year 1803? Baby, the rundown is redonkulous, okay? Let me just go down the list. I'm going to go down the list real quick, and then we can go back and talk about some things if we need to. Ohio becomes a state, is ratified as a state that year, 1803, okay? Let's see. The Lewis and Clark expeditions begin. That's pretty significant. Okay, hold February 25th of 1803. It is I want to dig into this more, but I had to like be really superficial. The last significant act of the Holy Roman Empire. More than 100 German policies were abolished in a major internal reorganization of the church. April 5th, the first performance, this was interesting, the first performance of Beethoven's Second Symphony in D, conducted by himself in Vienna. April 30th, Chancellor Robert, this is big. Chancellor Robert Livingston and James Monroe signed the Louisiana Purchase Treaty in Paris at a cost of $15 million, which doubles the size of the United States. May 18th, the Peace of Amiens between the French Republic and Great Britain ends as Britain declares war on France due to France's imperial policies in the West Indies, Italy, and Switzerland. May 24th, Beethoven and a black violinist, what's his name? His last name is Bridgewater, perform a concert together at some theater in Vienna. June 9th, Matthew Flinders arrives in Sydney, becoming the first person to circumnavigate Australia, quote, proving that Australia was one continent. This is big. July 4th, Louisiana Purchase is announced to the American public by President Thomas Jefferson. Let's see, August 9th, I thought this was random but interesting. The first horses arrive in Hawaii. November 18th, the Battle of Vertières, the Haitian population inflict a final defeat on the French force attempting to quell the slave rebellion on the colony of Saint Dominique. November 29th, Dessalines and Christophe declare Santo Domingue, Haiti, independent. November 30th. So listen, everybody's like, oh my gosh, the cicadas, the last time that happened was when Thomas Jefferson was president. And that's all they could find. That's all y'all could find. Haiti became independent in 1803, November 29th. Y'all didn't see that significant though. Spain, November 30th. Spain cedes her claims to the Louisiana territory to France. That's huge, right? December 20th, the French flag is lowered in New Orleans to mark the formal transfer of the Louisiana Purchase from France to the United States, purchased for $15 million, right? Let's see what else I got on there. I've been taking crazy notes, like chaotic notes. Was that all I brought? Okay. So that was all I sought out from there. But then what I did, I think I just saved those though. So I thought that was interesting. The other thing that I did was I spent and I dumped a lot of stuff on my Facebook page. So y'all can go to my Facebook page, because then I started June 2nd. Oh, and then that led to another wormhole that really, well, it is kind of related, because this first week, which is I'm going to the astrology on this first week in June, is pretty big, right? So I was like, okay, well, let's do some today in history type of stuff, especially since that planetary parade is happening tonight. So today, June 2nd, was pretty significant. That old ugly woman, what's her name? Queen Elizabeth II was crowned Queen of the United Kingdom in 1952 on today, June 2nd, right? Bo Diddley died at the age of 79 today, right? A jury in Denver, Colorado found Timothy McVeigh of the militia movement guilty of murder and conspiracy in the deaths of 168 people in the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing. And then he was executed in June of 2001. That happened today. The The aftermath, this is in 1946, in the aftermath of World War II, the people of Italy passed a referendum to replace the governing monarchy with the republic. Oh yeah, today in 1946, Italy became a republic. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not a big sports fan, but I know everybody knows who Lou Gehrig was. That's why they ended up calling it Lou Gehrig's disease. Lou Gehrig died today in 1941 at the age of 37 from ALS, which began to be called Lou Gehrig's disease. Let's see. There was a bunch of other stuff. Hold on. This is kind of weird because we talked about this guy when we were reading Pure Lust in the year 1740. The Marquis de Sade. I don't know why they had it. Oh, this was today in history. So yeah, on June 2nd in 1740, the Marquis de Sade was born. That's interesting. Tomorrow, June 3rd, which is the date that I was telling you, is the official date of the planetary parade. This is interesting. The pro-democracy protest in Tiananmen Square is crushed by the Chinese military on June 3rd of 1989. And let's see. It says on this day in 1989, the Chinese government called in the military to put down the pro-democracy demonstration carried out by more than 100,000 people in Tiananmen Square, Beijing. And I think the numbers that I read, the official numbers were 2,000 plus people ended up dying in the Tiananmen Square, subduing of the rebellion. June 3rd of 2016, Muhammad Ali passed away. Let's see. This was interesting. In 1992, a lawsuit brought before the High Court of Australia by activist Eddie Kioki Mabo was decided in favor of Torres Strait Islander people and Aboriginal peoples. The Mabo case established land rights for all Indigenous peoples in Australia. The Ayatollah, what's his name? The Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who led the revolution that overthrew the Shah of Iran in 1979 and later served as Iran's ultimate political and religious authority, died in Tehran in 1989. This is interesting because I think I talked to y'all about it a little while ago. I saw this documentary on the Shah of Iran, and he was plagued with contradiction. I'm not going to go deep into it, but he was plagued with contradictions, opulence and a lot of the things that we complain about in the United States right now. But under the Shah of Iran, women had a lot more rights than they do. Vincent Sims was born in Washington, D.C. on June 5th. Happy early birthday, Vincent. That's what's up. Anyway, yeah. So when you look at Iranian women now who are, have hijabs and are fully covered, and then you look at pictures of women in Iranian society in the early through the late 70s, and how they were going to college, they were driving, they were seemingly, full citizens in society. But because the Shah of Iran was freaking wrought with contradictions, the only thing that people could see as a way to counter the behavior of the Shah of Iran was to side with the Shia cleric, the Ayatollah, right, who was an extremist. And so it was like, I don't know. That's probably a history lesson we're gonna have to dig into, because that thing with the Shah of Iran, man, and how his opulence, his very Western ideas, literally gave rise to this extremism that thrust women back in history, 1,000 years. You feel me? Anyway, what else happened? Ed White, emerged from the orbital spacecraft called Gemini 4th and became the first American astronaut to walk in space. This is big. I posted this on my Facebook page. Today in 1943 in Los Angeles, clashes erupted between the U.S. servicemen and Mexican American youth wearing zoot suits. The Zoot Suit riots, as they became known, occurred during a period of heightened racial tensions in the country. The Zoot Suit riots kicked off today. Well, actually tomorrow, June 3rd, tomorrow. Yup, right here in Los Angeles. Let's see. Allen Ginsberg was born today, June 2nd, June 3rd of 1926. American physician and surgeon Charles Richard Drew, a pioneer in the preservation of blood plasma and a lifelong critic of official decisions to separate the blood of whites and blacks in blood banks, was born in Washington, D.C. Let's see. Ow. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So that happened. So that's one little sidetrack thing that I, let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So on June 4th, coming up this week, of 1919, the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which gave women the right to vote, was passed by the Senate 2 weeks after being approved by the House of Representatives. The amendment was ratified the following year. So that happened. Interesting. Yeah, so Napoleon Bonaparte commanded the siege of Mantua, which resulted in the exclusion of Austrians from northern Italy. And in 1783, on June 4th, the first hot air balloon rises. In this week coming, so I would imagine, keep your eyes peeled, because I didn't even read this. I would have put this on my on my Facebook page. Keep your eyes peeled, because on this day, on June 5th, coming this week, June 5th, 1967, June 5th, 1967 will be, June 5th of this week will be the anniversary of the 6-Day War. Let's see. It's what was called the 6-Day War. Israel, amid rising tensions with Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, staged a preemptive air assault. This is in 1967. June 5th, 1967. So keep your eyes peeled, because these people in power be real nostalgic and shit and rely on our not knowing history. So on June 5th, Israel, amid rising tensions with Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, staged a preemptive air assault and soundly defeated those Arab countries, notably seizing the old city of Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip before a ceasefire. I need to post this on my Facebook page, because they probably gonna do some bullshitting ass anniversary event, some kind of nostalgic attack or some shit. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, I need to put that on my page. Let's see what else. Interesting. On this date, June 5th of 2012, Ray Bradbury, who wrote the book Fahrenheit 451, passed away. In 2004, on this date, Ronald Reagan finally bit the dust. Interesting. On June 5th of 1981, AIDS was reported for the first time following the detection of a form of pneumonia in 5 homosexual men in Los Angeles. That is coming up on June 5th. While running for U.S. president, Robert F. Kennedy was fatally shot by Sirhan at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. He died the following day. That was in 1968. This is a radical week coming up that we just leapt into. Let's see, and the address. Oh, that's not okay. The Allied forces in World War II entered Rome on June 5th of 1944. Yeah. These things are important to know. That's why I always do it. If something is happening currently, like this week is just crazy. The Normandy invasion began this week in the year 1944. It is notorious in, is it June 5th? Yeah, June 5th of 1944. This day became known as D-Day of World War II. Dwight D. Eisenhower and the Allied armada of ships, planes, and land crafting, and some 156,000 troops began the invasion of northern France from England. Wow. Felicia Rashad becomes the first African American to win a Tony for her performance in Raisin in the Sun. 1982, again, here Israel is again on the same day. A couple decades later, Israel invaded Lebanon on this day, June 5th, in 1982, and subsequently defeated the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the Syrian armed forces, and assorted leftist Lebanese groups. 1934, the SEC was established. The U.S. regulatory agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, was established. Wow. And interesting, on this day in 1844, the YMCA was established. And on this day in 1622, Pope Gregory I don't even know what that Roman numeral is. What's XV? What is that? Is that 15? I don't know. Pope Gregory the 15th, we'll presume, created the Congregation for the Propagation of the Faith for the organization and direction of the missions of the Roman Catholic Church to the non-Christian world. Now, I was just having this conversation the other day about this this live that I did several months back when I was talking about how I always am up on the Vatican's website, trying to check out what they got going on. I read from the horse's mouth what they got going on, and they went and did this kind of, the Pope went with, like, you know, this imam and this what you call the imam and the rabbi and the Dalai Lama and some other dude, like these big religious leaders from around the world. And they went into the secret meeting for 7 days. And when he came out of the meeting, he called a meeting of all these like big wig bishops around the world to come to the Vatican. And when they came out of the Vatican, this is coming from the Vatican's website, so this is not conspiracy theory or conjecture. Coming out of this meeting, after meeting with all these non-white religious leaders from around the world, oh, they had a Native American religious leader there too, you feel me? After having this meeting where they want to quote, you know, champion world peace or some bullshit, you feel me? As soon as he got done meeting with the colored people, his ass then came back, called all the bishops from around the world into a closed door meeting. And when they came out of the meeting, his decree was the primary work of the Roman Catholic Church for the next 14 years is to re-evangelize the world. That's a quote from the Vatican's website. Primary on our list of shit to do for the next 14 years is to re-evangelize the world, child. That's what he said, right? This was just this past year in 2023 that he said that. Here, this dude, he is in 1622 talking about he creates the Congregation for the Propagation of the Faith for the Roman Catholic Church to go out there and evangelize the world. And what happened the first time they evangelized the world? You understand? He said, listen, everything else y'all got going on, put it on the back burner. That's all we're interested in for the next 14 years is the re-evangelizing of the whole planet. That's what he said. That's what he said. Let me read through some of y'all comments. I meant to send you that about the Marquis de Sade. Yes, very interesting, especially since don't nobody ever talk about the Marquis de Sade. All of a sudden we talking about it in pure lust, and then it come up this nigga birthday. You know what I'm saying? And even the way they talked about him, they were like, French nobleman, the Marquis de Sade. Let me just read what they said about the Marquis de Sade, because I was like, couldn't they have given a more accurate description of this dude? They talking about some French nobleman, because I was like, I could have wrote a better description for that. I sure could have. Here it is. The Marquis de Sade, the French nobleman known for his erotic and perverse writings, was born in Paris. That's all y'all had to say? Known for his perverse and erotic writings? Oh, not that he was kidnapping women, holding them hostage, brutalizing them. Probably the first written and documented incidences of Stockholm syndrome, where he brutalized them and beat them up and terrorized them for so long that when he finally said, okay, y'all can leave, they didn't want to leave. Not the guy responsible for the word sadism. No, they didn't say that. Just a nobleman who wrote some erotic shit. I said, boy, listen. Okay, yeah, Nura Allah, thank you. Yeah, so 15. Okay, yeah. Carla Summers, let me tell you something, darling. You said, I hope there won't be another Inquisition. Let me tell you something. Some time ago, I had some of the folks listening to the show. I was like, look, what we need to do, because I think we were reading from The Great Cosmic Mother. I think that's what we were reading from. So it might have been last summer. We were reading from The Great Cosmic Mother about or maybe it was Missing Secrets, but it was about witchcraft. It was about the Inquisition. It might have been from either one of those books. And how there was so many eerie similarities between what was happening in the witch trials and what was happening, what we identify are issues with the prison industrial complex, right? I was like, damn, like maybe we need to do kind of like a whole breakdown of all the stuff that was happening during the Inquisition and all of the stuff that's been happening under, whether it's Jim Crow, whether it's prison convict leasing, or what we call the prison industrial complex now. The similarities were kind of startling, right? And so you talking about, I hope there ain't another Inquisition. And I've been saying for 4 years, all of the shit we've been watching, whether it's news or whether it's quote entertainment, has been priming us, prepping us, getting us ready, softened to accept the increase of violence against women that was coming down the pike. People hear me say that and think that I'm being like grandiose or like I'm being an alarmist or something. But I'm like, damn, like what country do y'all live in? Like, why I gotta be alarmist? I'm talking about the increase in violence that is inevitable coming down the pipe. Why would y'all have a problem with that? If we keep saying over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, the patriarchy got its birth off the backs of women, off the subjugation of women, off the brutalization of women, off the turning of women from goddess figures in the flesh on the planet to freaking cattle whose offspring become commodities to the machine. And women are saying no more. Why would it be a stretch for me to say, once women start talking about like, look, we ain't trying to be equal, we ain't trying all that shit we was talking about before, just trying to be equal, we ain't talking about none of that. Now we trying to talk about like, bitch, we want power. That's all we want. That's all we interested in. If you ain't talking about that, you ain't talking about shit we interested in. Once women start talking about we want power, and that's all women. That's all women. You got women right here in Los Angeles running organizations saying, we've been working for free. Like slavery never ended. We've been working for free as housewives. We've been getting allowances. Like somehow what we do as housewives is not labor that contributes to the wealth product of this country, the wealth generation of this country. Every child we got, every child we have and take care of for free ends up becoming a productive member of society through which they have to pay taxes. They have to pay into the state. They have to pay into, bitch, we need to be getting paid a full-time salary. And then what is it? Fortune magazine comes out and says, these women, they've been getting robbed. Here we turn around and romanticize the idea of marriage to listen, to emotionally manipulate a bitch into working for free, because that's what it is. Sing sonnets, buy flowers, squeeze your booty every now and again to trick you into becoming an indentured servant through culling your heartstrings. You feel me? Then Fortune magazine comes out with an article several years ago saying that the average housewife, not even the motherfuckers who go above and beyond, just the average housewife should be making a wage of $141,000 a year. She ain't getting no paid vacation. She ain't getting no sick leave. She ain't getting no bonuses. Honey, she working for room and board. She working for room and board. You feel me? She an indentured servant. So now women getting hit to the game. These young girls done put us on. You feel me? These millennials and these Gen Zs who've been running both feet first in all these psychology classes, trying to understand what the hell is happening to them, how they keep falling. We think it's something inherently wrong with us. Oh, well, you just have unresolved trauma that keeps making you repeat patterns of trauma. Bullshit. No. Men have been conditioned and trained to traumatize human beings. And so that's why we keep falling victim. Ain't nothing inherently wrong with us. Ain't no shit we what do they call it? Radiating out your trauma so you keep attracting your trauma. No. Between religious institutions, between philosophical ideas and ideologies, between psychiatry and between the state, we have been conditioned to accept. We women have been conditioned to accept that abuse is our lot in life, to fear love, that fear and love is synonymous, and males have been conditioned to exact abuse. And so these young girls is like, fuck that. Listen, I want peace. You understand? And peace, just so you know, when I say women are talking about power, that's why men are angry, is because when women say, I want peace in my life, I want to have control of my own dividends, you feel me? I don't want no babies. Who can afford to have babies in a society like this any motherfucking way, you feel me? Women are saying, I want to be able to come and go as I please. I want to be able to sleep as long as I want. I want to be able to walk through my living room without no clothes on if I don't want to, you feel me? Like, men are clear what women are saying. Women are saying, I want peace. For men, they hear, I want power. What power? The power to control and govern my own existence. That's what we want. And for women to have power over and govern their own lives, even if in their mind all they want is peace, baby, when you say you want peace, it means you want the ability, unimpeded and uninfected by others, to have the power to govern your time, your existence, your life. And men know inherently that when a woman is talking about peace, when she is talking about power over her life, it means that they can no longer exploit. It means that they can no longer thrive off of. It means that they are no longer entitled to indentured servants. That's why they all in crisis, baby. That's why they all in crisis. They may not internalize it that way. They may not even be able to articulate it that way, but their behavior says more than enough. You feel me? And so here, when a woman, any woman, but now every woman starts talking about we want power, because peace and power are synonymous, baby. I'm going to just tell you what it is. In the world created at the expense of women, at the expense of others, at the expense of children, when a woman says she wants peace, she is simultaneously saying, bitch, I want power. I want power. And so that's why these institutions are talking about re-evangelizing the world. I'm trying to tell you, and I've been telling you for 4 years, women are at the center of every political discussion unfolding on the face of the earth right now. And they'll call it everything and dress it up as everything but what the fuck it actually is. And until women begin to really hone in and internalize their true centrality to the way the world looks, their true centrality to the restoration of the world, their true centrality to all. What did I just say 30 minutes ago? We are the weavers of fate. We are the weavers of destiny. Everyone around us is impacted by our existence. We don't have to say a word, and they are impacted by our existence. What we do and don't know will determine what their existence looks like. Will it be a happy one, a bountiful one, a sovereign one? Or will it be one steeped in woe and misery and fear and concern and lament and shit? What did Barbara Walker say in the Encyclopedia of Missing Secrets? She said the miasm. What? The miasma. The miasm is a spiritual pollution spoken from the mouths of injured women. That's what she said. Now, in homeopathic medicine, a miasm is a spiritual pollution that can be handed down from generation to generation, and it is the source of every disease that exists on earth. That's what Hahnemann said, the founder of homeopathic medicine. The origin of all disease is spiritual pollution. It's a goddamn spell spoken from injured women. Child. Nah. Why am I saying this? Within the context of these motherfuckers, they call it everything but what it is. So this Pope say, oh, we gonna re-evangelize the world. What is he talking about when you say he gonna re-evangelize the world? When they do away with Roe versus Wade and start imprisoning women who go to other states to seek safe medical procedures, huh? Is when they overturn Roe versus Wade, is it just about abortion? Abortion is it's a symptom. Because, honey, that overturning of Roe versus Wade wasn't the only thing that happened, as a matter of fact. Around that same time, Roe versus Wade got overturned, right? Some voting rights laws voting rights laws got overturned. What else happened? Affirmative action got overturned. What else happened? Affirmative action in the colleges, that got overturned. What else happened? Oh, black people being able to get resources to start their businesses, that is done away with. What else happened? Wait a minute. Several LGBTQIA plus rights that they won got overturned. Who is at the center of all that shit? Y'all can call it what the fuck you want to. Women are at the center of every child, listen. And y'all will forever stay missing the boat, thinking a thing is a thing that it ain't. At least not primarily. At least not primarily. You feel me? Terrence Howard said about 2045 there may be no men. You know, I think that's alarmist. That's my personal position. I think there are a lot of people out there babbling bullshit because they don't know shit. And I think it's alarmist. The issue is not about whether or not there are going to be no men. The issue is, because it ain't like by 2045, all the men that exist just going to drop dead. That's not the issue. Again, it's always about something else. It's always to steer attention away from the centrality that women have to play in the future. It ain't even a question. And so Terrence Howard saying there may not be no men by 2045. Men are not the issue. Men ain't the issue. Men have a position to take. That's it. The discussion around men is about what's your position. When you walk up in the room, baby, when you walk up in the space, bitch, what's your position? What's your position as a man? What's your position? Where you stand? The line is clear. Do you stand over here with us, women, others, children, colored people? Or do you still pledge allegiance to your penis? Do you still pledge allegiance to patriarchy? Because when you pledge allegiance to patriarchy, boo, you pledge an allegiance to white supremacy. You pledge an allegiance to capitalism. You pledge an allegiance to global, what do y'all call it? Corporatocracy. When you pledge allegiance to patriarchy, bitch, you pledge an allegiance to everything wrong with the planet right now, bitch. And men have a role to play. Men have a choice to make. It's theirs to make. That's what sovereignty is. But all this fucking riding the fence shit, there ain't no time for that. There ain't no time for that. These in broad daylight. I'm sitting here reading through these dates, man. I'm like, damn, this most auspicious week that we just stepped the fuck up in, June 1st. And all these historical events telling us of the potentials of echoes. I just told you 3 different events, 3 different assaults that Israel made historically on June 5th. I just told y'all that. That's the importance of reading astrology and trusting spirit when she says, go on this wormhole. There's something for you to see. I came on here to preach to y'all about these damn cicadas because I need these cicada songs, and ain't nobody gave me no cicada songs yet, but there was a message in here for me. She said, what's so significant about 1803 other than the white boy Thomas Jefferson being the president of the United States? She said, look at these echoes through here. Look at the myriad of times this week in human history that major things have jumped the fuck off. Is it a coincidence? Well, we know now numerology is significance because our opposition employs it all the time. All the time. You feel me? So, if that's the case, you feel me? Mother Phoenix say my ears have been ringing lately. Listen. We in a hole since the new year started. We done been jacked in the jaw about 20 times by major events in this. We 6 months into the year, y'all, and we've been jacked. Every time we turn around, we think we done recovered from one major astrological event that hadn't happened in 1,000 years, hadn't happened in 500 years, hadn't happened in a millennia. Every time we turn around, we getting jacked in the jaw again by some major event. Why are we getting jacked in the jaw? Because we are not studying. We are not preparing. We are not preparing. We, again, are being victimized by being pulled around by our emotions, led around by our emotions. I'm telling you, ain't no shortage of people that I know and care about who are always trying to make a bitch feel guilty because I'm not going. I just dumped a whole bunch of memories on my Facebook page asking to. Facebook wouldn't let me post several of them. It was just videos of people chanting at George Floyd demonstrations, and Facebook was like, you can't post this. You sure you want to post this? Because it may get you marked. Several times that people just protesting in the streets during George. This is the George Floyd demonstrations. We was at the height of them demonstrations this week. 4 years ago. This week, 4 years ago. Rumors of a potential sacrifice of a red cow necessary for the construction of the third have stirred up internet and religious. That happened in April, boo. That happened already. They did that. They didn't put that jack move already. But I'm convinced that's what October 7th was about. It was about a preparation for that thing you talking about right there. And I'm saying, look, man, I'm just saying. This was a word. I came on here to talk about these damn cicadas, and Spirit sent me on this wormhole. You feel me? I just talked to y'all last week about the triune. What did she call it? The first in a lifetime. Jupiter, Pluto, Aquarian, Air Triune, and Gemini. We barely out that bitch because that was on the 30th, the 29th. Was that the 29th or the 30th that happened? We turned right back around again 3 days later, getting jacked in the jaw all over again with this June. So let me go through June real quick. I'm just saying, it's exciting to me. I do not want y'all to hear what I'm saying as fear mongering. It is not. It is to win you enthusiastically to participate, to prepare. If you know what's coming, that you can avoid the echo. You can steer the echo in a different direction. The only thing that's had us out here fucked up in the game is we did not know, because so much had been kept from us. The internet is the glorious Pandora's box that is guaranteeing their end, their demise, their undoing, their deconstruction. It's guaranteeing us power if we seize it. Anyway, so this breakdown that I'm on, this is just a Cliff's Notes breakdown of a astrological report coming from the YouTube channel Astrology Report. Oh, something else I should remember. I should mention that is very, very important about this month. It is now called African American Music History Day, or Music Appreciation Month. Excuse me, African American Appreciation Month, June. So I want to start every day like shouting out, bigging up some historically significant contributor, Black musician. So keep me on point with that. There's so much, but anyway, yes. That's this month. Okay. So this is from Astrology Report. This is just a Cliff's Notes version of what he had to say about the coming month. And y'all can go and see the whole video because it's jamming. The name of the video is Pluto in Aquarius. I think that's what it was called. Pluto in Aquarius. Oh shoot, let me look really quick because it was something. It had like a little tag on it. Pluto in Aquarius. Let me look this up real quick. Astrology. Okay. Let me do this. So those of you who are watching through StreamYard, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my screen. Is that what you have to do? Present, I think. Present. Extra camera, share screen. Screen sharing works best on a good computer. Screen sharing. Okay. Share screen. All right, here we go. So let's do that. Y'all should all do that. Okay, so can y'all see? Okay, cool. Y'all can see the screen that I'm sharing, right? All right, let's see here. Uphold the ego or side with, uphold that ego, patriarchy, or side with the divine order. That's right. New comments. Cool. Jai Thomas, it's been so long. Okay. Yes, Nurala, I love that. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. I love it. I'm here for that. Yes. Okay. So what I'm showing you is what I'm going to be talking about briefly. This is the guy I'm always talking to you guys about. So his YouTube channel is called The Astrology Report. This is the video. So now you can see it. This is the video that I'm going to be, talking about. Vicky, love girl. Oh my gosh, how you doing? Listen. All the old fam is coming up on here tonight. Y'all must have been bored. Let's see, young, gifted, and black. Come on in the room, y'all. All right. So anyway, those of you who are IG, you can't see, but I'm sharing the screen. So if you want to join, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is at DaughterOfTheFates, at DaughterOfTheFates, and you can see on the screen what I'm sharing with the people who are tuning in via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Okay. So this is the guy I'm always talking to you guys about. This is the guy that I'm telling you is extremely thorough when he talks about history. He's the one I was telling you about that did a 3,000 year breakdown of Pluto in Aquarius and the potential echoes, especially where aggressions and technology are concerned. It's deep, and we have to understand the world this way. Okay, so this is the guy I'm going to be talking to you that I took notes from. And then there's one more guy. Now, this is some wormhole shit I've been on for a few days now. This dude, his page is called, this is the other woman I like a lot, Pam Gregory, this little old British lady right here. This woman, her name is, her YouTube channel is Lunatic Astrology. Her name is Lori Lathian. She is just very thorough in your individual astrology. I like her for that, right? And then there's a couple other, but anyway, there's another guy I want to turn y'all on to because this guy's in a wormhole for about 2 weeks. His name is Amun. Okay, he calls it Amun U, right? His YouTube channel is called Lady Babylon. This dude is a PhD. He's a weird guy. But most people who become brilliant, if you have noticed, they become weird. You feel me? He's a weird guy. But he is pretty freaking brilliant. I like watching his stuff, especially when he's interviewed. It seems like on his own channel. So there's another guy called the Gnostic. What's his name? The Gnostic. I think it's called the Gnostic Atheist, maybe. Let me go ahead and check that one. Let me just check. I think it's the Gnostic Atheist Gnostic. Oh, the Gnostic Informant. That's this other guy's name. So this guy Amun is interviewed regularly on this guy's channel, the Gnostic Informant. The first time I heard about this dude Amun was in an interview on the Gnostic Informant about the history of Medea. The history of Medea. It's called Medea. Let's see. It's called Medea. Yes, there it is. That's the one. Y'all need to watch that. Y'all need to watch this video. It's called Medea, Medusa, and what's that say? Medea, Medusa, and Medicine. It's like the deeper we go, the deeper we get. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is the guy, right? It's called Medea, Medusa, and Medicine. Yes. Y'all got to watch that. Okay. Maybe I'll do a breakdown of it, but it's deep. It's way deeper than I expected. And it's really good. So anyway, we're going to go back to the, you don't have to see it. You don't have to see it. I showed you the video. So the video about what I'm going to be talking about for this week. We're going to prep for this week, and then I'm going to be up out of here. So these are notes that I took on June 1st. Baby, let me tell you, watch that interview. Brahmana Bava, watch that interview. Listen, it's going to change everything. It's got me on something else. It's going to change everything. Okay. So he talked a lot, even though he was talking about June, right? We're in June, how to prepare for June and all of that. He did this whole long thing about all of these massive, huge astrological events that have been happening since we entered the new year, right? They are still happening within the context of an extremely powerful movement known as America's First Pluto Returns. I can see that my screen is acting janky. Let me close some of my pages and see if that will help, because this is always an issue. See if that helps some. Yeah. Hopefully that will, let's see, what's that? Don't do that. Mm-hmm. All right. Hopefully that helps clear it up a little bit. Okay. So all of these major events have been happening within the context, have been powered up by, the word I'm looking for, like exacerbated, if you will, by this Pluto in Aquarius energy that we're in right now. So let me just run through that, because that's what he's talking about in this one. Even though he's talking about June, what's coming up, he prefaced by reminding us of the fact that we are still right in this America's First Pluto Returns, and it's a very destructive Pluto return. So let me tell you. Okay, so he says, in order to understand, why the Pluto return is so significant, he does like a little brief history about how we got here, right? So, because he's prefacing by, so yes, Pluto in Aquarius, but the Pluto return began on February 20th of 2022, which was Pluto in Capricorn. And he said, so anytime you look at a Pluto's transition through Aquarius, the events that unfold in Aquarius have been set up in the prior years of Pluto's transition through Capricorn, right? This was really interesting because it never occurred to me until he said this, but he was saying that the energy that Capricorn, astrologically, Capricorn and Aquarius are the only two signs that in the transition from Capricorn into Aquarius, they're the only two signs in the simultaneous, not simultaneous, in the, back-to-back motion. They're the only two signs that share a planet. So Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, as is Aquarius. Capricorn is an earth sign, a feminine earth sign ruled by Saturn. And the very next sign is Aquarius, which is a fire sign, an air sign, and it is very masculine, and it's ruled by Saturn. It's the only two consecutive planets that share, the only two consecutive signs that share a planet. I thought that was interesting, right? Because he, oh shoot. All my electronics is janky these days. I don't know what the hell is going on. Anyway. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. He said because they share this planet, and it's this consecutive motion from this really, really heavy earth sign into this air sign that share a planet. They both, what was the exact quote he used? He said, he said the continuity of Pluto transiting right now through both Capricorn and Aquarius, which is what we've been experiencing since, really honestly, since 2020 in that stellium on January 12th, but more pronouncedly since the America's First Pluto returns began on February 20th of 2022, when Pluto was entered where it was at the time that the United States was born. So at 29 degrees, Pluto enters Capricorn on February 20th, on 2/20/2022, right? And so he says that you'll see, so Pluto is really governing the behavior as Saturn is, as it's transiting through these two signs that are governed by Saturn. Okay, so Pluto officially entered Capricorn in 2008. So let me just go through what the bullet points that I took down as notes. He said, okay, in 1789, right, when Pluto was in Aquarius, because that's where we are right now until September 1st. Pluto is in Aquarius. So he's trying to show you echoes, because what a Pluto returns means is like going back to the beginning. Where were you when the last time this planet was in your birth chart as a nation? Where were you? What do you need to clean up? What karma do you need to address? What do you need to strengthen? What do you need to resolve? Right? So as a country, he's saying you need to look at where America began in order to understand what the possibility is for this return of Pluto in America's birth chart. Okay, so in 1789, when Pluto was in Aquarius, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, the Constitution was formalized. Congress and Supreme Court was established. The Congress and the Supreme Court were established in 1789, and George Washington becomes the first president of the United States. This was given rise to, however, by the American Revolution, which was in 1775, while Pluto was still in Capricorn. This most bloody of American wars, I think the numbers were like 250,000 people lost their lives in the American Revolutionary War, right? That happened in Pluto and Capricorn. Keep following, because Pluto and Capricorn is what we just transitioned out of. Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. And so he goes through and talks about what were all the big things that happened while Pluto was in Capricorn, right? Trump was elected. Obama was elected. What was the Occupy Wall Street thing, the Me Too movement? There was a lot of really telling, massive incidences that are indicative of Pluto in Capricorn, because Pluto comes to shake the foundation of very weighty earthy Capricorn, the institutions that exist in Capricorn, so on and so forth, right? So 1789, Pluto in Aquarius. Yes, you have the outcome, which is the Constitution and the establishment of Congress and the Supreme Court, right? And George Washington becomes president. But what gave rise to the outcome was this most brutal, most bloody American war called the American Revolutionary War, which happened in Pluto and Capricorn. And we still have a stint in Pluto and Capricorn coming up in September. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776. That was Pluto and Capricorn, right? But and also in Pluto and Capricorn, the Boston Tea Party, which happened on December 16th, 1773. And he talks about the energy that he was just talking about, how these two consecutive planets these two consecutive signs being ruled by the same planet, Capricorn and Aquarius being ruled by Saturn. Basically, he's saying, see the energy like Aquarius and Capricorn represent two sides to the Saturn or the Saturnian energy, right? And so, sorry, boo. And let's see. Okay, so for example, Capricorn is yin, right? It's a cardinal sign. It's always responding to the past. Capricorn is always responding to the past. Capricorn is not about developing new ideas. If anything comes up, these things come up as a recognition of the past in an attempt to address and resolve the past. That's Saturn. Saturn wants you to go inwards. It wants you to go inwards, and solve the past, right? And institutions, all of that shit fall in line with that. Aquarius, being an air sign, is about mental ID. Mental is a very mental sign. We're going to have Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years. It's about mental things, and also ideas. New ideas come from Aquarius. Revolutionary ideas, right, come from Aquarius. It's very young energy, and it's visionary energy. Aquarius is defined by like the personality of the inventor, of the revolutionary, right? Which makes sense because we've always been talking about Aquarius as what? Archetypically, Aquarius is the Orisha Shango. Pluto is the Orisha Oya, right? Saturn, right? Is that right? Yeah. Yes. Right. So Aquarius is Shango. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. All right. So now, other historical events. Listen to these. So we all know, those of us who know anything, know that Tupac Shakur was named after the Peruvian emperor, if you will. I don't want to call him an emperor. He was like, he was royalty. Tupac Amaru II, right, was the chief of the Taino people in the 18th century. And this is word for word straight from this dude page. So go and watch the complete rundown, but it was dope because he was like, yes, Tupac Shakur was named after this great revolutionary in Peru, in Lima, right, in the 18th century. Listen to this. The Spanish, okay, so he descended from Incan royalty, and the Incas had been conquered by the Spanish during another Pluto in Aquarius. Listen, the Incas had been conquered by the Spanish in a previous Pluto in Aquarius in the 16th century when Lima was founded in 1535. Here, another 200 something odd years later, because that's how long it takes Pluto to circle the planet. He was saying that he said because Peru, at least for the last 3 Pluto in Aquarius cycles, have had some kind of significance in this cycle, to be expecting and looking at Peru for something that is going to pop off in Peru. I found that interesting because I'm always going off. I think it might be more like a resistance to spiritual tourism. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like he's saying expect to see some developments in Peru. My question mark was, is it going to be spiritual? Is it going to be political? Is it going to be like a closing down of spiritual tourism in Peru? But anyway, okay, so in 1535, when Lima was founded, was as a consequence of the Spanish conquering the Taino Empire in Peru, right? Well, it fast forward 200 plus years. In 1780, Tupac Amaru II staged a rebellion against the Spanish, leading 40,000 to 60,000 Peruvian people in rebellion against the Spanish. He was caught, and he was eventually executed by the Spanish, and the rebellion fails. The story begins with Pluto in Capricorn in 1776 with the Bourbon reforms, which split Peru in half from Upper to Lower Peru. Upper Peru became Bolivia and Argentina, and from the rest of Peru. But Upper Peru was, let's see. Yes. And the silver mines that were predominantly in Upper Peru all the product of the silver mines started to flow straight from Peru, upper portions of Peru, into Buenos Aires instead of Cusco and Lima in the west, creating massive poverty in Peru, which was what fueled the rebellion in the first place. Does this sound familiar at all? Does this sound familiar at all? Listen, this is in 1780, saying that war and forced borders was what gave rise to the funneling of the people's resources to another part of the country, leaving them impoverished to the extent that they have no other choice but to stage a rebellion. Sound like Congo to me right now. That's the first thing that stood out to me. It sounded like Congo, right? Okay, so anyway, that's one thing that he mentioned, as this happened in 1776, the year that the United States was officially born. This happened in 1776, okay? Pluto in Aquarius, all right? Then, let's see what else. Another big theme about Pluto in Aquarius is technology. The last Pluto in Aquarius transit, so he talked about some very big technological advances that happened in the last Pluto in Aquarius transit, which was from the year 1777 to 1798. Pluto in Aquarius in 1765, or actually Pluto in Aquarius, but these, again, he's talking about how Pluto in Capricorn sets up these potential outcomes when the transition is complete, November 19th, for the next 20 years that will be in this Pluto Aquarius dance that they doing. You feel me? So look, 1765, James Watt, invents the steam engine. 1764, the spinning jenny is created by James Hargreaves, whatever. And then it gives rise, these inventions are what essentially lead to the Industrial Revolution. These happened in a Pluto and Capricorn transit. But in order for the Industrial Revolution to pop off in Pluto and Aquarius, these things had to happen. These seemingly slow moving things defined by Capricorn's movement and behavior had to happen to set up this seemingly radical, like, new thing in the Industrial Revolution, right? Pluto in the domain of Saturn he talks about using Pluto in the domain of Saturn to predict the future. Pluto moved into Capricorn on January 26th of 2008. It moved into Capricorn again on March 23rd of 2023 through June 11th of 2023. Its last movement will be this year, Pluto in Capricorn, September 1st to November 19th of 2024, where Pluto will make its final transition into Aquarius until the year 2044, right? And so he gives bullet points about all the shit that happened as soon as Pluto entered into Capricorn in 2008. The financial crisis of 2008. What were the big identifiers of that? The big bailouts, the austerity measures, Occupy Wall Street happened in 2011. And what he said was, now listen, he talking about using the past to predict the future, okay? What did he say about Occupy Wall Street? He said massive amounts of people for long periods of time demanding change from their government, and it yielded nothing. That's what he said. Y'all think I be going hard on here. That's what he said. He said there were little, if any, gains made by all of that energy in the street around Occupy Wall Street. Yet it was the biggest bailout in the history of the United States, and the people got nothing. That's what he said. It was a quote. Occupy Wall Street yielded nothing. They ain't win shit. All that expended energy and didn't win a motherfucking thing. Where we at right now? Right now, I just told y'all 4 years ago, this week, 4 years ago, the biggest demonstrations in the city of Los Angeles around George Floyd. What did it yield? What did it win? What did it win? Anyway, he said to be looking at these earlier stages of Pluto's transition into Capricorn in 2008 through like the mid 2015, to be looking for signs. This is a quote. To be looking for signs of, quote, chickens coming home to roost for what happened in 2008. That's what he said. That's what he said. What else did he say? He said Bitcoin was created on January of 2009, and other major financial develops happened around its launching. Let's see. AI. There was some kind of AI something that happened. It was some new program, AI program that was launched in January of 2021 in Pluto and Capricorn, that was very controversial. And he said, so expect to see some, as he said, you can already see hints of it with the writer's strike here in Hollywood. The writer's strike was the first signs of this very thing, resistance against new and developing technology, right? The writer strikes were all about don't replace writers with AI, right? You would see that all over people's banners. Don't replace writers with AI. He said this all happened around January 2021, right? And he said the resistance to the developing technology is the Capricornian thing. The resistance to the technology is what will happen when Pluto, what has been happening because over the last 2 years, Pluto has been seesawing back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn, right? And this last transition into Capricorn in September will be this last and final one. And so he said the writer's strike happened while Pluto was in Aquarius. The new technology happened while Pluto was in Capricorn. Fascinating, right? Let's see. He said it was interesting because while Pluto was in Aquarius in 1786, the first documented worker strike for higher wages in the United States happened while Pluto was in Aquarius in 1786, right? He says, we are guaranteed to see a radical increase in fake news, deception, replacement of workers, surveillance, and social media, like mental illness, like mental issues and emotional issues tied directly to social media consumption. And he said what's going to play a role in that is like a lot of fake news, deception, and surveillance happening in social media in particular. And then when Pluto finally shifts back into Aquarius in November, then you may see more resistance to technology, social media, AI, and so on like that, right? Let's see. So the movements in June, a grand trine, Pluto in Aquarius, Jupiter in Gemini, Neptune in Pisces, and it's the first time in half a millennia that has happened. Let's see. Uranus. So we talked about some big movements that are still going to be in play throughout this whole thing. Like we talked a lot a couple months back about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which will be with us. We'll be feeling the impact of that for the next 14 years, which guarantee that happened in April. So let's see. And that'll be through the middle of July. However, the impact of that cycle is a 14-year impact, right? And it is always centered around rebellions, radical movements, and awakenings. And these awakenings can be either scientific awakenings, cultural awakenings, and breakthroughs, right? So being mindful of that. I'm always talking about what's the new renaissance of the 2020s. Like 100 years ago, we had the Harlem Renaissance. Like, what is the new renaissance of the 2020s? What are we creating new? What are we creating radical? What are we creating in contention with the norm or whatever, right? So that could be something that is, people are exhausted on mediocrity in culture, mediocrity in art. And so it may be the beginning of the burgeoning of, a whole new art movement. Or, you're also talking about the Harlem Renaissance was defined by Black writers, right? Black artists and Black music, right? So we may be looking at something like that, a whole new radical genre. I just read an article yesterday that said the title was hip hop is radically hip hop is radically losing its popularity. That was the hit. I think I might have even posted it on my Facebook page. That was a headline. Hip hop is radically losing its popularity. So Black people, we got to be plotting on what's the new thing we creating. How are we going to do this different so it benefits us and not somebody else at our expense? Like, what is it? What's the new cultural expression of how we're experiencing life? Let's see. My birthday is September 27th. And I do wonder what's my sign in the Orisha. So you're a Libra. You're a Libra. Child, I don't remember. What is your sign in the Orisha? Libra. Damn. I don't remember. Give me a minute to think about that. I don't remember. But email me because I have my deck. Maybe after this, I can just look at my deck and see what it is. I forget right off the top of my head, though. Voiceovers by Stephanie. Email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. I'll look after my live is over and find out for you. What is Libra? It's ruled by Libra is ruled. Child, I just drew a blank. Yeah, let me find out. Let me find out after I get off this call. Anyway, okay, so some things to be looking out for. Okay, so this is now the discussion actually about June. All right. So be looking for cultural and scientific breakthroughs, right? But also be looking for, radical movements, rebellions, and awakenings. They could be spiritual because of all the players on deck. I told you tonight, for those of you on the Eastern Seaboard, from about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., so tomorrow, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., you'll be able to see this planetary alignment with Mercury. What is it? Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn. Who else is in the mix? Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Mars, Neptune, and Saturn. Y'all be able to see this planetary alignment that hasn't happened since the year 949 AD. I should look up what was happening in 949 AD. That's another wormhole. The last time that planetary alignment happened was in the year 949 AD, and it won't happen again until May 6th of 2492. 2492 is the next time this alignment that's happening on January 3rd in the morning. Again, won't happen for another 4,000 plus years. Okay. So Gemini is also in the play. We've got these, the triune, Pluto and Aquarius, that's in Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini, Neptune in Pisces, right? Okay. What else? The first week, so there's a Venus, Cazimi that's happening the first week in June on June 4th. So that's Tuesday, it's day after tomorrow, which is centered around issues of love, money, and family, great art and love, right? Also, there's a Mercury in Gemini, and which is Mercury in Gemini is from tomorrow, June 3rd to June 17th. But also in the middle of it on June 14th is a Mercury Cazimi, which is, so this whole week, right? June 3rd through the 17th is calling on you to make music, to write poetry, to do whatever is necessary for you to receive clarity, because we're still in Gemini season, which is very heady, right? Gemini is about communication and big ideas and breakthroughs and shit like that. But it's easy for Geminis to do what I spend all day doing, all weekend doing, was digging into wormholes. It's easy for us to get like way off topic or go way too deep in other directions and wormholes. So it's about mental clarity. It's about keeping a clear picture and keeping yourself centered on what it is your immediate mission is. And the easiest way to do that is to get out of your head. So the recommendation is to go grounding, right? To go sit on the grass or put your bare feet in the grass or go lay out in the sun or go exercise so that you're bringing that yang energy out of your head and bringing it into your body, right? So exercising, right? But in order to maximize off this Mercurian energy in Gemini, right? Both deal with different aspects of communication, right? Saying take advantage of this big energy coming into the month. Write a song, make a song, write some poetry, write words, write a book. It's about, and also he was talking a lot about be ready, especially on the 14th, to receive what he identifies as the messenger whispers. The messenger whispers. So he says, if there's something that you've been planning, some idea that you've had for a long time, and you've been really stuck in like getting the idea out, or, figuring out how to make the idea come into fruition, to be still enough in your body enough, again, taking that excess yang out of the head, bringing it into the body, because on the 14th in particular, you may receive divine intervention, whether that's through a dream, whether that's through meditation, but be somewhere where you're not so busy in the head that you can actually receive what he calls the messenger's whisper. I love that, right? And then, so he talks a lot about breakthroughs, the potential for breakthroughs to come in these first 2 weeks of the month. There is a new moon on June 6th. So like I said, the first week, we right out the gate with big shit, right? What is it? The Venus Cassandra, the Mercury Cassandra, the Mercury and Gemini transit, which is the 6th through the 17th, the new moon in Gemini on June 6th, which is again still reiterating that need to be creative, especially intellectually, and where art and wealth and things of value are concerned. So creating, right? Then June 9th through the 20th is Mars in Taurus. So this is about the demand, but the demand to find a rhythm between work and play. Mars and Taurus, right? Mars in Taurus. Mars is the action. It's like, I want to do it right now, to get up and go. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. The Taurus, which is the slowest moving earth sign, is like the slow and the methodical and the steady, right? The earth sign, more about the work, and and the Mars sign is fire energy, but it's still about the do it now, like do it now, right? So finding this balance between work and play, not getting overburdened or irresponsible in either way. Being patient, also because of the duality of these two, he said this is me. I knew he was speaking to me when he said it. Be patient and mindful, to beware of frustration. The frustration is coming from Mars, because Mars be frustrated with how slow Taurus moves. And we know that all of our movements on all of our transits have been so heavy over the last 3-4 months that we've always said it. We've been saying over and it's like every movement, everything I'm doing feels so effortful, so burdensome, like wading through tar, right? So this transit, the warning is to be patient and mindful of frustration, to not get frustrated, to not exhaust energy on anger or rage, which Mars would tend to have you do, because it be frustrated by how slow Taurus moves, right? So that's for me this month, because I've been in my feelings for weeks now. I'll be honest. Easily frustrated, easily set off, just like, ooh, like that, right? So this was a word for me. Anyway, let's see. He said, make Know Your Best Friend this month. I said, this is me too. He said, especially on June 22nd, when we have this full moon in Capricorn. He said, there's somebody going to be trying you, and you're going to have to learn how to say no. He said, say no to something or somebody this month. I was like, okay. And then Saturn stations retrograde on the 29th. Neptune stations retrograde on July 2nd. Both are retrograde in Pisces. And so again, this was a warning about what he calls the oceanic effect of social media, the all-consuming, the ever-present, the all-surrounding. He said, so you may need to detox from social media, especially during those two retrogrades, Saturn retrogrades on the 29th and Neptune retrogrades on the 2nd. He was like, you may need to turn your notifications off. But he is warning because both of these signs are in Pisces, both of these transits are happening in Pisces. He called it the oceanic impact of social media on your mental health and so on and so forth. So he said you may be overwhelmed by mental health responses to social media. He also warned of being caught up in the multiplicities of conspiracy theories. I was like, damn, that's deep. So he also talked about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. These two retrogrades in Pisces and a coming conjunction, an actual conjunction, because these retrogrades and these movements of Saturn and Neptune have been close, but over different periods, but always almost like a single degree off. He said they're actually going to go conjunct again in 2026, which is going to be like a big conjunction. And he says, interestingly, in history, Russia has always been like extremely impacted by Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So we expect something really big to come down the pipe involving Russia. I thought that was interesting. Then he went down the list of Saturn-Neptune conjunctions and the impact or the events that happened in Russia or regarding Russia in some way during these conjunctions. The Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 happened during a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Stalin's death happened during a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. The St. Petersburg was founded in 1703 during a Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and the fall of the Berlin Wall happened during a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. I thought that was fascinating. The history is what fascinates me about astrology. So, and I think the history is what, I know it sounds like the opposite, but the history is what like makes me optimistic about the potential for the future. It's like the knowing of what happened and how it happened and when it happened. And to see that astrology isn't just some woo-woo shit about you reading the Sunday paper to see how you should plan your week, right? That there is a definitive numerologically and astrologically. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say it 1,000 times and 1,000 times more. You don't have to believe in astrology or numerology for numerology and astrology to have a direct impact on your goddamn life. Because while you don't believe in astrology and numerology, your motherfucking opposition do and plans accordingly. And we've gone down the long list of examples of how they plan accordingly based on numbers and planetary movements. You don't have to believe in astrology. You don't have to believe in numerology. Somebody with more power and access than you does, and they plan to keep their boot on your neck using numerology and astrology. And you can take that shit to the bank and cash it for good money. That's real. You understand that the whole live I did for you guys on the history of Veterans Day and how they signed the Treaty of Versailles on 11/11 at 11:11 a.m. in a year that breaks down numerologically to 11, and you think that shit is a coincidence. Oh, it's just a coincidence that they did that. Okay. Y'all run with that. Y'all run with that. Meanwhile, we can't figure out why the smallest, youngest group of people on the planet Earth running circles around our ass. Okay, y'all run with that theory. That everything is a coincidence. So anyway, I think that's how I'm gonna close. We at 154. It might have seemed like maybe, I don't know. How'd y'all feel about that? Let's see. Numbers are infinite information. How'd y'all feel about that? Was it helpful? Was it useful? Is it going to help you plan accordingly this week? There's a lot of big shit happening this week. So just take the high road all week this week. Sidestep bullshit. You feel me? Put your hands on something in nature to create something new. I'm getting into my jewelry making tonight. You feel me? Do your hair, do some beautification ritual, because you know Venus is all up in the mix this week too. You feel me? Get up at 3 o'clock in the morning if you're on the Eastern. If you're on the Eastern Seaboard, try to see this once in a millennia 6 planetary alignment that won't be seen again until what did he say? 2490 to the year 2492. You know what I'm saying? Like, power up this week. Power up all the time, but power up this week. And sidestep bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that looks like to you, right? Decrease your social media hours. You feel me? Go sunbathing somewhere. Yeah, so hopefully it was helpful. You can email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com if you have any questions, any feedback, any insights, anything I missed. You can, if you need a reading this week would be a great week to get a reading. What was it? The 4th, the 6th, the 14th. And he's so cute. Oh, he's so fine. His little squishy self. Yes, he is. He is the love nugget. And the little girl, she don't like the snuggle. She wants to get love for like 2 seconds, and then she off bouncing against the walls. Like, see, she was just here, now she gone again. Where's she at? Yeah, this is the love nugget. He's so cute. Yes. So anyway, yes. So yeah, let's power up. Send me my cicada moltings. Send me my cicada songs. Y'all, I have big plans for the songs. Okay. Thanks so much for sharing so much vital information and knowledge. No, Chloe Duyor, I have not named them yet. I'm still running around here calling them little babies. Hey, little babies. Hey, little babies. I haven't. I'm like, okay, the names are going to come to me divinely, but it's already been 3 weeks. I was like, man, I got to name these babies. I have not named them yet. So I don't know. As soon as I give them names, I will let y'all know what I'm going to name the little babies. Anyway, this was fun. It was good talking to y'all. I know it's been a week. I'm going to try to be a lot more disciplined. I just needed the time, y'all. I didn't realize how stressed out I was about my little recital on Thursday, but I was. And it didn't occur to me how stressed out I was until after we were done and the adrenaline was gone. Like, I couldn't even keep, my friend wanted to take me out for dinner. I couldn't even keep my eyes open for dinner. I was literally at the table like this. I was like, I got to go home. And then I slept for like 16 hours. So it was a long week last week. I'm going to start doing the book club again. Yeah, I'm thinking. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to call it the book club anymore. We're still going to be going over Pure Lust. I really still want to get into it, but we're going to start calling it, like I said before, like our temple study, because there's a bunch I want to go into. And also I'm going to pick back up probably tomorrow. I started maybe 2 weeks ago reading you guys our next book, which is very short. It shouldn't take very long to get through, but Beyond God the Father and Towards a Philosophy of Women's Liberation. So we're going to start back reading that. I'm going to start back reading that tomorrow. So that's the next live I'm going to do is tomorrow sometime. I'll probably do the notification tonight. but Beyond God the Father and Towards a Philosophy of Women's Liberation by Mary Daly. And yes. Yeah. So we're going to finish that book. We're going to get into this temple study. I'm thinking I'll debate about it. I'll let you guys know when I do the next temple study, but it's going to be soon. It'll probably be this week. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it is something that is impactful. Yeah. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a wonderful night. Try to catch this planetary alignment. If you're not in a place where you can see it, do some ritual and try to power up. Light a candle. Say, speak a conspiracy. You feel me? Conspire on behalf of your friends and family. You understand? Conspire on behalf of the global family. You feel me? What do I say? We don't pray, we conspire. That's it. So let's go. Let's imagine something big this month. Let's put it down on paper and try to execute. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I'm just seeing some of these potential kitty names. I will take them into consideration. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all take it easy. Have a blessed night. Peace.